There are places in America where Google Maps won't take you, not because the road is closed, not because there's construction, because something else is there. And the algorithm, quietly, without explanation, decided you shouldn't go through it. Today, we're talking about the darkest square miles in America. The zone's navigation apps route around. The places that exist on the map, but never make it onto your route. This is dark geography, and it's more disturbing than you think. Pull up Google Maps, plan any route through Chicago's South Side, through parts of Detroit, through certain blocks in Baltimore, St. Louis, Memphis. Watch what happens. The route bends, it curves away. It adds minutes, sometimes miles, to keep you on a different road. You didn't ask it to avoid anything. It just did. No warning, no explanation. The blue line simply goes elsewhere. Most people never notice. They follow the route, arrive, and move on. But some people noticed. Researchers noticed. Journalists noticed. Because the roads Google Maps was quietly avoiding were the same roads appearing on America's most violent crime maps. The same blocks, the same zip codes, the same square miles. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe the algorithm knows something it isn't telling you. Let's talk about what these places actually are. Not statistics, not headlines. Real places. Inglewood, Chicago, one of the most consistently violent neighborhoods in any American city. Streets where homicide rates per capita exceed small war zones. Blocks where residents have learned which corners to avoid and which hours to stay inside. North St. Louis. And this is where it gets haunting. You aren't just looking at empty buildings here. You're looking at digital ghosts. The algorithm sees the roads. It knows they exist. But it treats them like they're haunted, structures that exist in the physical world but have been excommunicated from the digital one. Entire streets, drivable, mapped, technically accessible, that the system has silently decided no longer belong to the living city. West Baltimore. The blocks that inspired The Wire. Except the real version has no cameras, no dramatic music, and no ending. East Detroit. Neighborhoods where the city has retreated, where streetlights don't work, emergency response times stretch past the point of consequence, and the infrastructure of a functioning society quietly packed up and left. These aren't just rough areas. These are places where the social contract broke down so completely that the geography itself became dangerous. And navigation apps, whether intentionally or not, have learned to go around them. Now here is where it gets complicated. Google will not confirm this. No navigation company publicly admits their routing algorithm avoids areas based on crime. Officially, routes are determined by traffic speed, road classifications, historical travel time data, and user reports. That is what they say. But researchers studying algorithmic routing have found patterns difficult to explain by traffic data alone. Blocks with clear, open, drivable roads getting systematically deprioritized. Areas where the roads are fine, but the route curves away anyway. The technical explanation: sparse GPS data. Fewer drivers with maps open means less data. Less data means lower confidence. Lower confidence means the algorithm defaults elsewhere. But here's the uncomfortable layer underneath that. Why is there less GPS data from those areas? Because fewer people drive through them. And why do fewer people drive through them? Because for decades, people have been warned, guided, steered, and redirected away from those exact blocks. The algorithm didn't create the avoidance. It inherited it. Think about what that means. Redlining. The practice of literally drawing lines around black and low-income neighborhoods to deny them mortgages, insurance, investment, declared illegal in 1968. But the lines didn't disappear, they just changed form. Highway construction physically cut through black neighborhoods in the 1950s and 60s, destroying communities, severing streets, building concrete walls that redirected traffic for generations. The road patterns we inherited were designed to avoid these places, and now the algorithm is learning from those road patterns. It's not a conspiracy. It's something quieter and more disturbing than a conspiracy. It's a feedback loop. Decades of disinvestment made these areas dangerous. The danger made people avoid them. The avoidance created data gaps. The data gaps taught the algorithm to route elsewhere. And now millions of people are guided around these places daily, reinforcing their isolation without a single human making that decision consciously. The machine learned from history, and history was already broken. There's a term for this: algorithmic redlining. Researchers and civil rights advocates have raised it. The idea that automated systems, routing apps, insurance algorithms, delivery radius tools are replicating the geographic segregation that official policy created and official law later banned. A restaurant that won't deliver to certain zip codes, a cab that won't cross a certain street, a navigation app that routes around certain blocks. None require a human decision. None require intent. None require anyone to say anything out loud. The system learns what people already do and scales it millions of times a day. And the places left behind? When a square mile gets optimized out of existence, it doesn't just lose traffic. It becomes a black hole for opportunity. No delivery drivers, no casual visitors, no outside economic activity. No one goes in by accident anymore. And if no one goes in by accident, no one sees the decay. The broken windows, the collapsing porches, the corners where nothing good happens after dark. The darkness grows because the map gave the world a way to ignore it. A clean, efficient, algorithmically approved detour, so no one ever has to look at what's been left behind. Isolation doesn't heal dangerous places. It preserves them. And the map, without malice, without intention, without a single human signing off, keeps drawing the route around them every single day. So, next time Google Maps bends your route, adds a minute, curves away from a direct line without explanation, ask the question, what's over there? Who lives there? What happened there and what is still happening that the algorithm decided you didn't need to see? The darkest square miles in America aren't dark because of a lack of light. They're dark because they've been digitally quarantined, cordoned off not by walls or checkpoints, but by code, by data, by the invisible architecture of a system that learned from us that these places should be avoided, and now teaches that lesson to everyone, forever, at scale. The next time the blue line bends, remember, you're not just taking a faster route, you're participating in the erasure of a city. And the worst part, the map made it feel like the obvious choice. This is dark geography, and there's more of it than most people stop to think about. If this made you uncomfortable, good. That's what this channel is for. Drop a comment, share it with someone who follows the blue line without asking why. Because the first step to changing a map is knowing it was drawn wrong.